But we started hearing news about infections starting in India, but it wasn't that bad. It was like 2 cases or 3 cases in Delhi. But then things started to get worse. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Ravaljeet Kaur, or you can call me Rava because I know Ravaljeet Kaur is a bit long. As you can see, I'm back in my room. I did not expect to be back in my room for at least a few more months, as you know, because of the entire situation going on right now. So I'm going to be talking about how I manifested, at least that's what I believe, that I attracted something like this in my life and how I came back here. Also, while I talk about it, I'm also going to do a little get ready with me. I hope it's not boring for you guys because this is something that I also want to talk to you guys about manifestation and about law of attraction. I am a firm believer of law of attraction, and what you give off is what you attract. The vibes that you give off is what you attract more of. And this is something that I want to introduce in my channel because I feel very passionate about this. I've already done my skincare and I'm gonna start with the Farzali liquid gloss. This is one of my favorite products for primer. So as you know, there is lockdown everywhere right now in the entire world, and I was in India for the past 2 months. I had gone there for my wedding shopping with my mum. If you don't know about my parents' situation, my dad is currently stuck in London and my mum goes back and forth from India to London, and she comes here as a visitor. My 15-year-old brother does the same. He goes and comes with my mother because both of them are kind of dependents on my dad, but they cannot stay here until he gets his visa. And it's been 2 years he's been trying to get his entrepreneur visa here in the UK. However, there's some situation with Home Office going on right now with his visa, so it's taking a bit long. So because of that, my mom just keeps going and coming back and forth from India to UK, and she had come to UK in January this year to attend my civil wedding, but that was only a civil wedding. I have a traditional wedding in June this year, but obviously that might not happen anymore. Most probably it's not happening because obviously I don't want to put guests in jeopardy because of my selfishness to get married. So my mom and brother, they both came from India to UK in January so that they can attend my wedding, and once the civil wedding was done, the date was set for the traditional wedding. Okay, so I've used the liquid gloss and now I'm going to use the Laura Mercier primer. I've never tried this combination actually before. So me and my mom left on 24th February to go to India, and we had gone there essentially to do my wedding shopping. And we were supposed to be back on 1st of May. So whilst we were doing our shopping, there were rumors about lockdown and the infections rising everywhere. Keep in mind, on February 24th, there was nothing going on. Like essentially the news was that China has been hit, and Spain, Italy has been hit, and I think even Iran. Those were the few countries that were hit, and there was no such thing in UK or in India. So we were not really serious about it that time. But we started hearing news about infections starting in India, but it wasn't that bad. It was like 2 cases or 3 cases in Delhi. So we were still okay with it, and really there weren't any rules implemented that time. So we just thought that this might just go away, like 2 or 3 cases, not much. But then things started to get worse. So for foundation, I'm using the NARS Sheer Glow foundation. This is one of my favorite foundations. I think this is a bit dark for me right now, but I'm gonna go with it anyways. With this, I'm gonna be using the Huda Beauty Kabuki brush. It was like 20th March, that's when things got really bad, and my brother from UK, he's settled here in UK with his wife and his child. He called up and he told us to book a flight immediately for UK because there might be a lockdown. Keep in mind, there wasn't anything going on in India for them to go under lockdown. So he kind of made me and my mom panic, and we were like, okay, we need to book a flight ASAP. And I booked a flight for 23rd March. My fiance's parents were also stuck there, but they didn't live with us. They have their own house in India, so they were living there and we were living separately. And so they were also there for shopping for his side, and me and my mom were shopping for my side. So they were there as well, and they were panicking as well. They had their flight for 25th March, but they also wanted to prepone and go 2 days before 23rd March. Because we were panicking, we were just like, okay, we'll leave as soon as possible. Flights for 21st and 22nd March were completely booked. So me and my mom decided to book ours for 23rd, and my in-laws, they decided to do the same. But just a day before the lockdown started, on 22nd March, unfortunately, the flights were banned. That means my flight was cancelled, their flights were cancelled, and on news it just said that it's going to continue for just 1 week. So we're like, okay, once this ban is lifted, we'll book our tickets and we'll leave. So from 22nd March, everything closed down. The shops, the flights, the railways, the buses, everything was shut down. And according to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he said that it's just for a week. And then on 25th March, they said that the lockdown has started and it's going to be there for the next 4 weeks. At this point, my in-laws started to panic and they just wanted to be back in the UK. But obviously there was nothing they could do. You can see there's some discoloration on my forehead and around my mouth, so I'm going to be color correcting with the instant anti-age eraser from Maybelline in the shade tan. So at this point, like I said, my in-laws were panicking and they just wanted to be back in the UK, but we had nothing in our hands. Everything was closed. Flights were closed, taxis were closed. You cannot go to the airport even if you tried. They also have a 2-year-old. Like my fiance has a 2-year-old sister. Like my mother-in-law had a baby 2 years ago. I know it's a bit odd, but she's a blessing, as my in-laws have 2 sons. One is my fiance and the other is the brother. So they had a very late baby in their life, which is a baby girl, and that is my sister-in-law. So my sister-in-law and my father-in-law and mother-in-law, they were all stuck in India and they wanted to leave. So for a few days they were very upset and they were trying to book flights and stuff, but it was not happening. And then came the news that there are flights from India to UK only for British nationals. I saw this news on Twitter actually from page Dan Thompson and UK in India, and they were announcing flights from India to UK and they wanted us to register. So I helped them out and registered them on the website. For concealing, I'm going to be using the anti-age eraser in Buff, same from Maybelline. So once they were registered, they received an email from a company called KTC who was in charge of the flights. Sorry, not KTC. KTC was a transportation company. This was CTM. CTM is, I think, a UK-based private company for flights. That was the company that emailed my father-in-law and told them that they have a flight in 2 days and they can leave, and a transportation company called KTC would arrange their transportation from their home to the airport. So all in all, they had to stay an extra 10 days from their original date and they left via British Airways. So obviously I thought because they're British nationals, they're allowed to leave. However, my mom has a visit visa and I have a BRP, a leave to remain. That is different from being a British national. So I thought maybe I could still leave, but my mom couldn't, so I didn't even try to register me and my mom. But I had this urge in me that I should at least give it a chance. I should try, even because I have nothing to lose. I was like, why not? Why can I not try? So a few days went by and my in-laws were back here in the UK and me and my mom were still stuck under the lockdown in India, and the lockdown actually also increased. Okay, so the first lockdown in India started on 25th March and it was until 15th April. And then they done another lockdown, which is from 15th April to 3rd May. And I believe my in-laws went back on 10th April, I'm not sure. And me and my mom were still there. We were just stuck and we were just going about our day. So yeah, as soon as the second lockdown started, I thought maybe I should try once. So I thought to call my brother and ask him to call CTM over here and ask them if it is possible for my mom to come with me via one of these flights. CTM told my brother that she can, as long as she comes with me and as long as I register myself first and she is registered second. So I was like, okay, we have nothing to lose, why not I try this? So I registered me and my mom the same day that the registration portal was going to close. So I had a few hours left before this registration was going to close and I just registered ourselves on time. If I had not done that, I would still be in India. So obviously I had this desire to be back here so I can work in front of my usual tech and, you know, give you guys some quality videos. And my mom wanted to come back to her husband, which is my dad. And the worst part was that my mom has her visit visa for UK only till 7th July, and we were just worried if we do not make it on time, she would not be able to come here. We'll have to apply for another visit visa, which might be hard during this time. Okay, so I'm just going to powder my face with Laura Mercier translucent powder. Oh god, I took a lot of this powder. So as soon as me and my mom got registered, I started receiving emails that we are on the waiting list. However, I still had doubts because they were choosing people who are very vulnerable and had to leave fast. And there are so many British nationals stuck even right now. So I thought we are not going to go. We're not going to have any chance because obviously they're going to see that my mom has a visit visa and I have a BRP and they're not going to prioritize us. But I still had this feeling that it might happen and I would give my best, and I just aligned my desire and intention and actions on the same line. When you want to manifest something, if you're just desiring something and you're not doing anything to act on it, then it's not going to work. You have to set out your intentions to the universe, you have to desire it really badly, and you also have to act on it. And during all of this, you have to remain really optimistic. So that's what I did. I was optimistic. We were just receiving emails every day updating us that we are on the waiting list. On 28th April, I received an email saying that there is a flight for 30th April from India to London via Qatar Airways. So after the initial round of flights, there were only 2 flights, 27th April and 30th April. Once the 27th April flight was gone, I just thought to myself, this is not going to happen. But on 20th April, once I received that email, I had hope. So I quickly paid, and I was still having anxiety. I had this thing in my mind that we might not be allowed in the airport. My mom might not be allowed to fly during the immigration or during entrance, or something might happen. So I was just having a lot of anxiety, and for this past 2 days I did not sleep. So I did not sleep the night on 28th or 29th April. Me and my mom had to pack all our bags in a rush, and we just had to wait on our faith. For sometimes the private companies, you do not know if the British embassy would actually allow us to fly during this time. They will allow me to fly, but they won't allow my mom to fly, and because she can't fly, I won't be able to fly because I cannot leave her alone. For bronzer, I'll be using the MAC Gimme Sun. This is my ultra favorite bronzer. Nothing beats this bronzer for me, and I'm going to use my Morphe M527 for this. It gives me like that perfect natural tan bronze look. So the process is such that once you get the email that you have been confirmed, you have to wait for the payment portal, and once you have paid, that's when you receive the itinerary and information from the KTC, the one that is responsible for your transportation. So both of those companies took so long to send me that email. I had so much anxiety because of this. I received the itinerary just literally in the morning, 6 a.m, the day I was supposed to fly. That's another reason why I couldn't sleep the entire night, just waiting for the itineraries. But once I received the itinerary, I was a bit more relaxed, and I was having more hope that I would be able to fly. For blush, I'll be using the Colourpop X Sailor Moon collaboration. Look at that, this is so cute. If this is not what dreams are made of. I love this type of pink on my skin. Okay, so on the day of flight, which was scheduled for 10 p.m. in Indira Gandhi Airport, we had to leave our house at 9 in the morning because that's when the transportation company told us that they would be picking us up. So we left, and we were on our way to the airport. This bus was picking up everyone who was scheduled to be picked for this flight. So by the time we reached, it was like 11:30 or 12, I'm not sure. And as soon as we reached, there was this huge queue, long queue for entrance to the airport. Apparently they were looking at everyone if they are in the list or not. By the time it was mine and my mom's turn, that's when things got really bad. They told us that my name is there, but my mom's name is not there. And that is when my heart started beating really fast, and I was like, okay, shit's going down now. For my eyes, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Nude palette in medium. So they told us to move aside and talk to the embassy. There was a lady there in charge of talking back and forth with the CTM and the embassy. So she was just asking us some questions, and she told me it's fine, things happen, sometimes your name is not in the list. And I said, okay, cool, this is my mom's name, this is her ID, so try and find her name. And when she tried, she couldn't find her name, and she basically was told that she's not eligible because she has a visit visa. And that is when I thought, okay, I can leave or I can give my all and fight this. It was almost 1 because of the queue, so we still had 2 hours to actually fight this. So my mom was in another place, and I was just talking back and forth to this lady and telling her my situation and that my dad cannot fly to India. So it is very essential that she flies to London if she can. It would be amazing. Like, I tried my best. So I just sat there being very optimistic and just keeping myself optimistic that I will be on this flight. Even when I was told I was not, I still tried my best. However, she just kept saying that I'm allowed to fly, but my mom is not. And bless this lady, she tried her best as well. She was talking back and forth, and she was telling our situation to the British embassy, but they were not listening. And then she just told us that she can arrange a car back to our home because obviously there are no cars and taxis. She said it's the least that she could do, but I said that I had paid for the itineraries, I had received confirmation, everything was done. I was approved by the KTC, I was approved by the CTM, they had no issues taking us to the airport. Then how come suddenly she's not on the list? I'm going to be keeping my eyes very neutral for this day because I'm going to be going with a very bold lipstick. So things were looking really bad until she said that there are about 100 people that have not come for this flight, like they have dropped out. And I'm here thinking like, wow, I'm so desperate here to leave, and these people who have this chance to leave like aren't even bothered. Like, imagine you pay and everything and you don't come to the flight, and there are 100 seats available. That's when she said, okay, there may be a chance for my mom to fly because there are 100 seats available, and obviously they don't want to refund our money because that's what will happen if they do tell us to go back home. They'll have to refund all of our money, and we had spent quite a lot. For each person we had to pay £544. So me and my mom, we paid £1,088 for this flight, and they'll have to refund that money back. So she tried to again like talk to the person she was talking to and tell them that this is what's going on, there are about 100 seats available, and should I let them go or no? And at this point I was thinking, hold on, let me at least look at the list myself. And at this point it was almost 2:45 p.m. I only had 15 minutes for check-in. And once I looked at the list, I saw my mom's name. but not in the green eligible list. It was on the yellow list. I was way more confused. I told the lady, look, there is her name, and she was a bit like shocked as well that she missed her name. However, when they were checking the list, they were only looking at the green list. The green meant eligible, and the yellow meant like unexpected, and the red meant non-eligible. So my mom was on the pale yellow side, and that meant that she is not expected to come for this flight. However, she has paid. So she asked me, have you paid for this flight? And I said, yes, we have paid for this flight. We have received our itineraries, we have received confirmation, and that is her name. And then again she went back and forth with the person she was talking to, and then she said, okay, I'm sorry, it is my mistake, you are allowed to go for this flight with your mom. And that is when I relaxed. It was such a relief for me to know when she said that you are allowed to fly. If I had not looked at that list, I would have been home. But in my mind, like I said, I had nothing to lose and I was giving it my all. And I'm kind of so proud of myself that I did not let it go. I did not give up, even though the odds were not in our favor. Like literally everyone was inside the airport, and it was just me and some other ladies that were trying to get in as well. And I think ultimately they could not enter the airport because I didn't see them in the flight. And now there are no more flights from Delhi to London during this time. So I count myself really lucky. This was the last flight. So for highlighter, I'm using the Sam Marcel Paris highlighter. I'm going to be using the shade Soleil. I hope that's how it is pronounced, and mix it with some cream. Look at that highlight. So overall, this experience, I learned a lot. First thing I learned was not to give up, especially when you desire something so bad and you have nothing to lose. And second of all, try and be optimistic even in the worst situation. If I had not tried and registered myself, I would have still been there, and I don't know for how long I would have been stuck there. Okay, to get that dewy look back, I'm going to be using the MAC Prep and Prime. The one that I have smells like coconut, and I love coconuts. So I already have full looking brows. I'm not going to be filling them in for this look. I can if I want to, but I don't want to because I want a very simple look. But I'm going to set my brows, and for that I'm going to be using the 24-hour brow setter from Benefit Cosmetics. If you know me, you would know that this is my holy grail. I'm just going to try and make it more bushy. You know, on Instagram where those models, they just have these bushy looking eyebrows and very simple dewy makeup. That's the kind of look that I'm going for. And for lipstick, I'm going to be using the Pop Beauty in the shade Berry Boost. Very strong looking. Okay, I'm not gonna be going for this color. I'm gonna change and go for a more neutral one. I still have some of the tint left, but that's okay. I'm gonna be using the Makeup Forever Aqua Lip in the shade 14C, and I'm gonna be using the NYX Matte Lip Cream in Room. Just quickly line, and now use the soft matte lip cream. Okay, so the only thing left now is the mascara. Ow, ow. For mascara, I'm going to be applying the Roller Lash Liner from Benefit. This is the finished makeup look, you guys, and I love it. It is dewy, it is simple, it is me. I don't like lashes. I'm not a lash person, but I do it sometimes because obviously you need that extra oomph. But for today, I didn't need that. I just wanted it to be very simple. And I think the eye and the lip combo is very, very pretty. This is something that I've never tried before. So like I said, if I had not tried for that flight, I may not have been here, and I'm taking this entire thing as a lesson, and hopefully this video is inspiring for you as well to not give up even when things look really bad. There's always a silver lining, and you always need to believe in it and remain optimistic. Let me know if you guys want more of these law of attraction manifestation videos, because this is something that I'm very passionate about and I can talk about days. So if you want, let me know and I will be introducing this into my channel. Obviously, there's always going to be beauty, fashion, lifestyle, but I also like to talk about self-development and law of attraction. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my new videos, and like this video if you actually like the video. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Mwah.